This is an incredible time to be human. We're seeing things that never happened before in the history of humanity. Of course, every day we hear tales of murder, terrorism, climate change, danger. If you open the news, you're being fed with extremely negative stories because that's what our mind pays attention. And there is very good reasons for that. Every second, every day, sensors bring way too much data, more than our brain can process. And because nothing is more important than the survival, the first stop of all the data is an ancient sliver on the temporal lobe called amygdala, or warming detector looking for anything in our environment that might harm us. So amongst dozens of news, positives, stories, we instantly look into the negative news, which generates more views and more money for the advertiser, for media to continue doing it. Given all the digital media devices we have access to nowadays, we'll have more and more negative news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's no wonder that we're pessimistic. It's no wonder that people are paralyzed, seeing a world that is getting worse. But perhaps it's not the case. Perhaps it's not really what's happening here. Perhaps it's a distortion of what is really going on. Perhaps the tremendous progress we've made over the last century is in fact accelerating to a point where we have the potential today and the next decade to create a world where the entire biosphere can survive and thrive by leveraging on the incredible technology we have available today. I'm not saying we don't have a set of problems. Climate change, coronavirus, massive species extinctions, water and energy shortage coming. We surely do. And as humans, we're really good at seeing problems and doing nothing about it until the last minute. But ultimately, we can knock these issues down together. So let's look at the negatives today of the economy, snapshot, and start thinking, what can I do as an individual living in the next 21st century to contribute to writing history, to solve the planet problems and participate, giving our children an exciting world to live in. Over the past 100 years, the average human lifespan has more than doubled. People used to live until 40 years old. Now they live until 80. It's crazy. Good or bad, the average per capita income has tripled. More than half of humanity cannot access food without having to hunt it. Childhood mortality has come down to a factor of 10. Cost of electricity has dropped by 20 times, enabling access to advanced knowledge on mobile phone, anywhere, anytime, at affordable cost for most of the humans in the world, including emerging markets. How crazy is this? Cost of transportation has dropped 100 times, 100 fucking times, enabling almost any millennials to fly, explore any country around the world. In fact, Steven Pinker research showed that we are living in the most peaceful time in the history of humanity. We're truly living an extraordinary time, and many people tend to forget this. Because we keep setting our expectation higher and higher. In fact, we redefine what poverty means last 50 years. Think of this, in America today, the majority of people on the poverty line still have electricity, water, toilets, refrigerators, mobile phone, car, and air conditioning. The wealthiest robber baron of the last century, the past emperors of this planet, could never have dreamed of such luxuries. In the meantime, the rate at which technology is impacting our lives is constantly accelerating. Over the past 100 years, our scientists have developed so much technology that human society hasn't even grasped 100% of it yet. I didn't. You don't. It's crazy. We have so much technology that we haven't grasped 10% of this yet. In the next coming years, a set of extraordinary powerful technology are to become available, not only to a few but to all of us. Internet. We're seeing the emergence of a new internet infrastructure. Global internet traffic in 2020 is equivalent to be 95 times the volume of the global internet traffic in 2005. This is the equivalent of all movies ever made in the history of humanity that are going across the internet every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes. And 5% only of this traffic come from PCs. Most of the traffic is actually generated by 26 billion IoT devices, machines. Cloud computing, which we enable any device to access the world power computer software to make our life easier and make everyone transparency to monitor our economy. IoT and other sensors will enable us to reduce car accidents using self-driving cars, as well as predict and prevent damages from natural catastrophes. Robotics, which will enable us to explore part of the universe which we'll never be able to think of, such as under the ocean of the planet and space beyond human capacities at cheaper costs. 3D printing, which has the ability to democratize and distribute personalized production and decentralized production around the planet, taking us out of the old centralized production system and the consumerism going with it. Nanotechnology, to enable us to turn salt water into drinkable water and solve our water crisis problem ahead forever. Synthetic biology, which will give us the power to heal any cancer or diseases directly from the gene expression. Artificial intelligence, which will start to help us organize our political productivity, economical activity by forecasting, calculating solutions, advising us on how to manage resources of our limited planet for 9 billion people to live here together by the end of the century. Can't we use this godlike technology to save our civilization from collapsing? Can't we use this during this Anthropocene era to raise and solve all the key issues that we have, climate change, coronavirus, pandemics, and other? Instead of terraforming Mars, can't we generate and regenerate our own planet biosphere first? In the meantime, there are 3 major challenges that will seriously endanger life on this planet, which humanity will have to face and use its creativity to solve during the next decade. Extreme environmental events such as climate change, pandemics, and others, technological disruption, and energy supply crisis. In the next chapter of The Adaptive Economy, we will explore together what these challenges and opportunities are, and what are the key parameters for people, individuals, organizations, entrepreneurs, and politicians to consider. In fact, these 3 major challenges are both multi-trillion with a T dollars opportunity and multi-trillions dollar problems for all of us, entrepreneurs, corporate managers, investors, to seize. And this is why I'm writing this book, The Adaptive Economy, hopefully to help these people to look into the right direction for the future of their career, for the future of their goals, personal and also for the future of their families. To help them look in the direction we are actually going, to look into the direction of the adaptive economy. A book wouldn't be enough to share the opportunity I can see here to enough people and make an impact. This is why I need to help share this message through more than a book, through video, live stream, podcast, interview, social media. We need to help this message go across universities. We need this message to go across families. We need this message to go across entrepreneurs. We need this message to go across government politicians. There is more money to be made in climate resilience startups than fintech startups or dog walking startups. There is more money to be made solving the next biological pandemic vaccines than creating a fintech startups. There is more money to be made providing education globally, technology education and digital literacy than on entertainment. All of these are facts. There's more money to be made in all these industries, including climate change. But why no one is working in it? Why are we not looking at the markets that could make us really wealthy? This is the question for our generation. This is the question for our generation business owners, but also for our generation capitalists and politicians. And this is what this book is about. Rising this into our mind. Because this is the beauty of humanity's superpowers today. If they realize it and try, one group of students can touch and change the life of billions of people. 30 years ago, that would have sounded ridiculous. Today, we can point at a dozen of companies that have done just that. Why? Because they're funded by adaptive talents. Because these people, these companies are part of the adaptive economy.